I'm the co-founder and chief operating officer of a company called Origin. We're a biotech company based here in Boston, right down the street over by the cruise terminal. And today I'm here talking about a product called Life Capsule. And before I get into Life Capsule, this is who we are and this is where we are. I want to talk to you a little bit about what Origin's all about, because otherwise Life Capsule doesn't make a lot of sense. So we're a biotech company that's focused on being able to take a small teaspoon of blood and making that into stem cells. And we do that using a technology called induced pluripotent stem cell technology. It was discovered in 2007 by a really brilliant scientist in Japan named Shinya Yamanaka, and he won a Nobel Prize for it in 2012. Our goal is to build the biggest library of stem cells, of iPS cells, on the planet, and we're on our way to doing that. And we're doing that using something called Life Capsule. So these are the three areas of our business. That top one is what I was just talking about. We build a big library of stem cells because ultimately what we're trying to do is be able to do better disease modeling. So being able to use these stem cells and differentiate those or make stem cells into heart cells, brain cells, or liver cells, and then test different drugs against those different cell types to figure out if the drugs are going to work on a human cell before a person actually takes that drug. So a lot of you already know that our clinical trial process is the process that pharmaceutical and biotech companies use to be able to figure out is the drug going to work. And there's a lot of stuff that happens before a drug even goes into a human. And what these cells are going to allow us to do is get even clearer and get more certain about whether that drug's actually going to work in a person. And the different models that are out there right now just aren't enough. You know, a lot of drugs go into that clinical trial process and fail terribly because the models they have right now are animal models and other models that are not quite human cells. So if you can think of brain cells, for instance, those are awfully hard to get your hands on to do some early testing. What we can do is actually make your brain cells from your blood. And so researchers can really take advantage of that. The third piece is what we're working towards. We want to be able to do that kind of testing on your brain cells, on your heart cells, and on your liver cells. So let's say you had a rare inherited disease that affected the heart, and you were living a really difficult to live life where your doctor was trying their very best to manage that disease by saying, here, try these drugs, let me know how it works out. And they'll do some tests, they'll go, those drugs aren't working so hot for you, let's dial up the dosage, let's dial down the dosage, try these other drugs. We've all experienced that, whether you have a serious disease or not. You get sick, you go to the doctor, they say, try this out. Now, wouldn't it be great if you could actually have that trial and error process happen outside of the body? And for these people who have really serious diseases, that's what we're trying to do. So ultimately, we need a ton of different people's stem cells in order for us to do what we need to do to make that a reality for everybody. So Life Capsule is how we get our donations. So we get teaspoons of blood to be able to, where we go to events all over the country, and we ask people to donate. And at first, we thought that was going to be really hard. But guess what? There are a lot of people out there who donated to the ALS challenge. They threw ice bucket water over their head. They want to get involved somehow. And when we give them the opportunity to donate a small teaspoon of blood, they say yes. And isn't that awesome? We have over 2,000 people in Life Capsule today, and we'll be working towards 5,000 by sometime this summer. And running out of time, so I just want to show you some of the really awesome people who have already donated. And you can see these are people from DC, from California, all over the place. We hire professional phlebotomists to help us take the blood. And then ultimately, my last point is all of you have the opportunity to donate. And it's at the Boston Marathon coming up. We're going to be at the expo. I'd really like to see you come out. And if you donate a small teaspoon of your blood, you get this t-shirt. Everyone likes a free t-shirt. So thanks very much for your time, and I welcome your questions. Peter, I saw you first.
Sure. Thank you. Very interesting. Where are the? Is there a listing of diagnoses or diagnoses that you can look up to see if you're working on a particular syndrome or disorder?
So the flat answer is no, not yet. One of the things that we're starting to build is a community portal to be able to let everyone who's donated know how their cells are contributing to our research and research in general. And so we're going to be using that portal to be able to communicate out to everyone so that they know, hey, your donation helped influence these types of studies that are going on. And we're going to be partnering with different foundations as well, and they'll be doing some similar outreach. Yes?
So when you change these blood cells into stem cells, are they unique to the person?
Yes, your stem cells are unique to you. So
are there any ethical or IP questions even about who owns me if I give you blood?
So we ask you to sign a consent form that allows us to, quite honestly, pretty much do whatever we need to do to be able to use your blood in medical research. And we have a long list. We're really upfront with that when we talk to people at these events, and we think it's really important that people understand what they're doing when they're saying, "Here's my blood." That's a big discussion that's happening in the medical community right now, and it's important for people to know what they're doing. But yes, we will know a lot about you and your blood and your cells. Go for it. He's the bringer today.
In an unlikely but dystopian world, is there a chance that like a malicious actor could gain access to your cells and make like clones that are unauthorized or something?
Well, I could decide to go rob a bank, but I'm not going to do that. So, there's a lot of you. I know there are people in this room that could do really nefarious things with the understanding and knowledge that you have, and you choose not to do it because it's not just unethical and illegal, and you could just go to jail for a long time, which some of the things you just said would do. But, is it possible? I suppose my PR person would kill me, but yes, I suppose so. But yeah, we're not doing that. Yes.
What's your revenue model?
So we will be selling to the community of people that we're building. We're selling the opportunity to store their stem cells. So when you donate, your sample is anonymous in all the research that we do. Your name is not anywhere connected with the actual sample. But we also understand, and people told us, hey, can you store my stem cells for me? And we said, sure, absolutely. There's a huge market out there for that. If you're familiar with cord blood banking, it's a similar model. So it's an annual renewable kind of subscription-based model where you can store your stem cells with us. We have that available right now. And then as we evolve, we have a roadmap where we're going to be providing new products that are more testing-based, that let you know a little bit more about yourself through your cellular health, your DNA health, different kinds of profiles. There's a lot we can do in that realm.
Are you generating revenue today?
We are. Yes.
So any of your research, do you have to kind of share data with health authorities like FDAs or EMAs? Or
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Any research you guys do right now,
Yeah.
is used for drug development,
Mm-hmm.
do you have to share data with FDAs or EMAs?
So there's a regulatory, the FDA manages a regulatory process around all therapeutics that are developed and a lot of other stuff that are affected in the health community. So as we start to evolve, and if we did make those decisions to go in that direction, we'll definitely be working really closely with the FDA from the very beginning, which is really what you have to do to be able to get your product out into the market. So where it's required, we're absolutely going to be doing it.
But you're not doing it right now?
We don't have the need to do it right now. Sure.
How much does this personalized medicine cost? Like, do you give an estimate?
So I don't have estimates for you because we don't have the first personalized diagnostic yet. So I'm sorry I can't answer that question. Are there any questions over there? I want to make sure I'm not missing it. Okay.
How and where do you store these stem cells? Like, what's the conditions?
Yeah, so we have 2 sites. We actually, when people donate their cells, we split them into 2. One stays in the general Boston area for our own research purposes, and then every single person that donates their sample gets sent to an off-site facility somewhere in the southern United States. Okay, I think I'm out of time. But thanks very much, and I'll be here later.